Okay, it is 31st October 2025. We are reading Our Friends in Good Houses, a novel by Rahul Pandita ji. अश्विन त्रेई लोग आज Halloween मगर hopefully अगर ज़्यादा लोग यन कैसे मुझे पता विजय जी ताई पर्व किताब ना विजय जी चुन पारांगे. He is here for he listen and then he will just hello तो you drive करान. I think he's putting his headphones on. Chalo, so what did you think of it, Avanti?
Yeah, so coming back to the book and the earlier books written by the author, I somehow get stuck to a place. I read it in a flow. I can't put it down because I feel it is the flow uh, of the stories, whether it is fiction or non-fiction, whether it was Bahawalpur or Moon has its blood clots, ha- reads like a river. I
Yes.
find it very, 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 very unputtable down kinds. So, and in this one, there are no chapters also. I mean, there are parts, but
Yeah,
no
you can't
chapters which
stop. You don't know where to stop.
where
It's
to
like
stop.
just
So
keep going.
it just keeps going. And in this one, since there are no chapters, so you are in the flow and you want to be in the flow
True.
and you want to know what's happening. Though for for all the philosophers and readers and artists and whatever the author may have interacted, the protagonist may have interacted in his life, have been put in the story, not like as, somebody from outside. They somewhere feel like part of the story, one of the characters in the story. And they're not like referred as artists or as usually I see when I'm reading another, this Atish Tasir's book, Second Birth or something. So he sometimes can usually says that this artist or this philosopher, this Indologist, yahan pe, it's like reading one of the characters, it is Neil, and then there is another one, then there's another artist. So which I found very unique and a little time consuming because I had to then Google and understand who is this, some of the
Yeah,
people there.
I
है
didn't do that because then it's like it's like then it'll go into research mode. Then you won't be able to.
It goes into research, exactly. But thoda bahut, to just get a little
I
hang
have
of it, I didn't
highlighted
have.
those. I have highlighted
Highlighted,
those
highlighted.
because then you will have to read that book. Then you
Yes,
will get
yes.
pulled into
Yes,
it.
to get to essence. So what I quickly did is understood that work and little bit whatever Google could throw in 2, 3 lines. But having said that, I it's gripping, of course. It is very it just puts you at one place. But at the same time, I found the protagonist to be this angry, uh, that angry quadragenarian. Like, he's always angry. He's always upset about something, whether
He's not
it's the
angry.
I feel
He's
a bitterness, a
he's
certain
he's a
bitter.
defeat
that he
he's a
holds.
defeatist.
हाँ,
Haha.
मतलब
Yeah, which is me
I
also. So
I think
I
not a
relate to it.
defeatist really, but yeah, somebody who's always not happy
Cynical,
with
yeah,
what has
yeah.
cynical. Somebody who's not
Me,
happy,
yeah.
whether it is the physical, form of home, whether it is the
Ar-
emotional form of home.
Artiwana
Uh,
ichi story of my
Agree,
life.
agreed, agreed,
a
agreed.
story of it is story of everybody's lives to some extent, and many shades of our lives are reflected there, which is not untrue. But largely, the large takeaway is thoda bahut pessimist, thoda bahut not happy with many things in life. But I don't want to spill the beans that I loved the ending. I
Oh, you
enjoyed the
finished.
ending. Yeah, I finished the book.
Stop it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm
Don't say
refraining myself.
anything.
I'm not saying anything. I just left it there. So there is a pie at the end.
Stop
So
it.
look forward to it.
Okay, that
No,
almost makes me
absolutely.
that almost makes
I
me hopeful about
absolutely
my
expect.
life.
Yes, yes, yes. So that was the beautiful takeaway for me.
Yeah. So I'm expecting it to be that way. I think
Hmm, hmm,
he will not uh, let you down kind of.
hmm,
Anyway,
hmm.
so I have this I think okay, so we are discussing part 1. Is anybody behind? I just want to know matlab, how much you have read Aarti?
I haven't read the complete part one, so I
Okay,
think my
until when? Then we can limit questions until where you have read.
okay, my last highlighted bit is on the when he mentions he always took the rope except in matters of love.
Mm.
When he loved, he let the
Mm-hmm.
rope go. That's
Aarti,
when
you're
he
breaking
meets
up, or is it me?
Gurnam. No, it could
What
be my internet as well.
what page number is that, Aarti?
पेज नंबर तो
It's
आपके पास हार्ड कॉपी
66
है?
में
Hmm.
Kindle में है.
Okay, leave it. Because we didn't have Kindle here. So
Hmm. So
Matlab,
that
it's when
is
I've just reached where he talks, where you can feel where he talks about the comrades and how he met Jassi Gurnam, uska wala
hmm,
background.
hmm, hmm. Okay.
basically 30% into the book. So one
Yeah,
third.
I'm 30%. Yeah.
So let's read that part because I have also highlighted, and I will go back from there from my highlights versus
Hmm.
yours. We can do
Yeah.
that. But before we can do we do that, I want to say how various episodes of his career or his experiences he is able to intelligently weave in so easily, although I do feel sometimes it gets a bit like यार तू किधर जा रहा है अभी इधर आया अभी उधर गया अभी इधर आया तो I feel like it's a bit not confusing but it's like irritating. Like sometimes I'm like अरे फिर से वापस आ गया अच्छा फिर से चला गया. I feel like I mean like you said there's fluidity, there's flow, and you get into the flow and then he just moves location and time and space both he
Yeah,
moves.
location and space exactly. Goes like this. अभी यहाँ था.
हाँ.
But मेरे को I mean while reading मुझे I was looking at the larger thing because maybe that's the art, that's his
Yeah,
craft of writing.
absolutely.
So इसलिए शायद but जब भी whenever I would finish one phase then I was like अच्छा let me just rewind, this was here, this was Punjab, then DK, then US, then Delhi, and then
And he's
India
not
that भी
chronological नहीं है ना
there's
तो
not chronological नहीं है.
तो तुम्हें अभी अभी ये देखना है अच्छा तो फिर
हम्म
ये मैं सोचती अच्छा आ,
हम्म
अदा कब थी एनी कब थी
हाँ हाँ
गुरनाम कब था so I'm making like a note like chronology
yeah
because ये
yeah
थोड़ा like इधर उधर ही है तो फिर
yeah
so what I'm understanding is that before Annie he was in the US and sorry he was in India sorry
he was in
and
India.
5 years before that he was with Ada or 2 years or something.
I don't remember.
The other, though, I'm not fond of
You
Ada.
haven't meaning the character or the
Yeah, I mean,
coming
I'm
on.
giving no leeway and no balanced opinion of mine on Ada. No, straight no.
Somewhere along the line,
I have met others, so no. Sorry, go ahead.
acha. So
You have
somewhere
met
along
Ada?
met meaning like it's a character.
Others. Yeah, as in I've seen others of
Many
like
Adas.
yeah,
Many
Many.
Adas.
many others. So like I'm not going to be polite about it. I don't like her. Good thing she's out.
Okay, okay, yeah.
But what was
She
in the story? Did I miss anything? Was there anything in the story that you didn't like about Ada?
The pretentious ones, right? Like English me and then certain
Ah,
tastes and
ah,
making him
ah,
feel
ah,
small.
very
Made
Delhi
him feel
kind of
small. Yeah,
Yeah.
very
yeah.
South
South
But
Delhi.
Delhi.
South Delhi.
yeah,
I was about
yeah,
to say South Delhi. I mean,
yeah,
I'm also one of the South Delhi, but not that parts of South Delhi. Yeah.
yeah.
You
I
know,
think
I
I
also
agree.
didn't know much about Delhi, and I got to know only after that. वो जो movie नहीं थी उसके रणवीर सिंह and Alia Bhatt. So then I kind of was like, oh, there is like stereotyping of which part of Delhi you're from. Otherwise, I had no
Well,
idea.
hey, I mean, same for South Bombay
Hey.
also, Sobo girls as well.
Hmm.
Don't know anything
Like
about Bombay. I know
Thane,
about Bangalore.
oh, aisa wala. They take
Hmm.
pride in saying, I don't know Thane. Anyway,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Avanti, you were saying something.
No, 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 no.
Before I
I just agree
interrupted.
with you. But there's also when you, I mean, later in the story, you see a shift in the characters also somewhere.
I don't
Oh,
want
is
to
it?
know. I don't
Oh.
want to know. No, 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 no,
I
no.
think I should put my speaker on mute for the rest of this session.
स्पीकर नहीं माइक स्पीकर
Mike,
से तो
yeah,
हमारी
Mike.
आवाज आएगी.
Sorry,
नहीं
Mike,
नहीं
Mike,
but
yeah.
you
But
speak, but I will tell you until where we know. In his
hmm,
love story we know until Gurupriya is at his house,
hmm,
and then he asks, she's like, okay, I'm going to leave, and he says, okay, come stay
hmm,
with
hmm, hmm,
stay here. That's the love story part, but of course it's not chronological, so I don't know what you remember.
hmm,
And then there is, in the career wise, we are uh, again, like Gurupriya comes home, so basically he's come back from that assignment, and
hmm, hmm,
now he's trying to slow down.
hmm,
That
hmm,
is where the part one ends and the entropy begins. Part one is
hmm.
called non-grounded. So now I'm
Non-grounded.
why do you think it's called non-grounded? Because he's just all over the
He's
place.
all over. He's been to a lot of I mean, personally, in his mind, meeting people and going places. It's that part of your life you spend discovering yourself, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I know there's it's trendy to call yourself that I've been bitten by the travel bug and I've touched 30, 40 countries, but I know
Very
because
South
I've been
Delhi of you.
I know I've been because I've met those people, and it becomes like a badge of honor that, oh, how which countries you're on. I'm like, no country. I'm happy where I am.
There I
So
am.
I have been there because this I've experienced how you want to escape, and okay, you don't want to use the word escape or say move away, get out of, whatever you want to call it. I've wanted that, and it gives you, like, staying at one place for long just feels
I'm done
um
with it now. I
yeah,
need to move on.
yeah, or just like this is so regular, like I don't want to be regular, but you don't know if you're doing this just to escape something or you're doing it just because you like it. So I've been there, and thanks to my work I had to travel a lot. I was in sales for a long time, and I just thought this is how I'm going to spend my life.
Hmm,
This is what it is, this is my path. So I, every time he talks about these things and meeting different, like met people fleetingly who've left an impression, but I've also not in touch with them. And it's just those instances you remember, they've changed you somewhat, and then you just move on. So when I read
hmm,
this book, I'm able to associate myself with that. So I feel that's the grounding bit that didn't happen. And I think
hmm,
that's age
hmm,
also to some extent.
हम
hmm,
बूढ़े
hmm.
हो गए.
And he mentions that later.
He
He
does.
mentions somewhere in the book that, yeah, I'm
Bachchan
done with
Kotli
this travel.
Pakan.
That's what he's.
Padirat,
Poidra.
Bachchan Kotli
Padirat,
Pakan.
Podirat,
Poi- Poidra.
Podra. Okay, Podra. Yeah.
Like what my parents used to say, ki Mr. Zangan Jaiman's wheels. I don't have regular legs. I've got wheels. But I associate with that feeling.
Aarti had also posted on Instagram something related to that.
Yeah, I felt it. I watched the whole podcast, and like that bit I felt. Um, and there's a lot that Zakir Khan also talks about Ghar, right? Which is true. It
Hmm,
doesn't.
hmm,
I've grown up in Noida most part of my life, but when I go there, I still feels like a, I mean, there are portions which are preserved of my room and the house which I say, हाँ ये मेरा school का corner है, but everything else just feels, do I, or I start, I feel that it's everywhere and yet nowhere.
nowhere.
Since we are on that topic, so let's be, and I have highlighted it for the questions that we should go around and answer for
Hmm.
ourselves as an exercise. 20% of the book, he says, uh, uh, he returned after 3 weeks catching the last flights from his city closest to the guerrilla zone. By the time he reaches home, it is midnight. He takes a long shower to clean all traces of the journey, changes into clean clothes, and steps out into the balcony. I am back, he says to himself. The city sleeps around him. Ada is in the bedroom. He has taken the guest room. What is home? What are its, say, top five parameters? What kind of magic does a space require to convey to a man that it is what he has been looking for all his life? How does communication break? When you say you love someone, what exactly does it mean? And how do you unlove a person? So many questions. So let's start from the start. What is home? What are its, say, top five parameters? What kind of magic does a space require to convey to a man that it is what is? Hi, Niharika. We are,
Hi, everyone.
I have not, Vijay, and the conversation is not resonating much, so I'm parachuting
I'm
out.
bailing
Okay.
out. I'm
He,
bailing
he,
out. ठीक है?
he's,
Okay.
he's parachute.
Okay. Okay.
Ejecting. Okay, namaskar. So, Niharika, did you read it?
No, I'm just here to listen and uh,
Okay.
be part of the conversation.
Okay. So now, I mean, you don't have to read really. I mean, I wish Vijay ji would have been here, uh, because I was hoping he could also answer. But anyway, what is home? And nothing to do with the book, really. What is home? What are its, say, top five parameters? What kind of magic does a space require to convey to a man that it is what he has been looking for all his life? Who wants to go first?
Home is where my heart is at rest.
But you have
Uh,
to say top five parameters.
Top five, where my heart is at rest, where I am absolutely free to do anything. I don't have to ask permission. I don't have to uh, look for a specific time, moment, etc. I can do everything and anything the whichever way I want. It also comes with a bit of an ownership in my case. I mean, all of these five parameters are for myself, so it's a bit of an ownership that okay, I own this and I can do things my way and around all of that. Home is also about good food. I mean, food that my comfort food. So when I go back to my parents' home, what makes me feel at home is the food that I've grown up eating.
Yeah.
Like even if it's like a plain hak and bata, I'm like, okay, this like go back decades ago. So that's food for me as well. Not so much as friends or environment, but maybe things from the past. I don't know why I think about home as a past thing. um i I call this, I mean, it feels home where I am right now, but um the the real meaning of home is, yeah, okay, it's there or it's somewhere there, or it used to be when I was in school studying. It just feels that it. I won't say that this is home and there's no permanence to where I am right now. Maybe so. The only my permanent address in my head is Noida back in India. So maybe I always feel, yeah, that's the permanent place. Like eventually, I don't even know if I'm ever going to go back there and live there, but in my head, that's the permanent bit. That's the permanent address. This is just whiling away some time. Those are my 5 points.
Cool. Anyone else wants to go?
Niharika, should I?
Yeah, please, Avanti.
I r- reckon with what Aarti's explained. If I have to count them in an order, then of course home is where the heart is, where I find peace and I'm happy and I'm free. I'm not, under this constant fear or with respect to my safety or with respect to how I move around in the city. But at the same time, um, we may talk about all these factors. A physical aspect to a home is equally important because It gives me that feeling of warmth, whether it is in the food that is being cooked at home, whether it is about seeing my loved ones in the house, my family in the house, in that same house. I feel that's home for me. Um, I don't know if I've spoken about this, but after Delhi was the place for me. Delhi and then later Gurgaon. And as Aarti said, South Delhi and South Bombay. So that was the place I've grown up and lived. And in later part, as an adult, it was Gurgaon. So coming here to Bangalore I still don't feel this is home. It's taking me time to accept this as home. Though, by God's grace, everything is here, family is here, love is here. But there's a physical aspect to things, a physical aspect to home, which I'm constantly referring to. And for a large part of my conversation, I'm always saying, घर तो दिल्ली में है, घर तो वहाँ है, घर तो, those kind of things. Like you said, that address is always Noida. So for me, address is always Gurgaon. So, but again, a larger part of my thought is where the heart is, because these are all very ephemeral things. These are things that are going to move around, and if I'm traveling to some other place, it's always going to change, like in your case and in the case of the character here. So, end of the day, to make peace with one's life, I have to find home in my heart. I have to find happiness where my heart is happy. So that is home for me. And this whole conversation, you know, comes from this very, brutal longing for a home for all of us in Srinagar, which we always say that is home. And there is no denying that is home. That is where the origins, the roots for us come. So that is going to be the home forever. But for the time being, we know that Noida is home, Gurgaon is home. And in case of Amrita, I think Bangalore is home.
You don't know
Yeah.
that yet. I'll
Yeah.
say.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Niharika, do you want to go next?
No, Amrita, go for it.
So, when I lived in the East Coast, um, I felt, and I moved quite a few house like places. Um, I didn't feel at home ever there.
Which was the first place you came to when you moved out of India?
Oh, as in like to the US, because
Yeah,
I've always
where in how many places have
to
you
live.
also you lived
I've
in since?
I've lived very briefly in Germany. Then and this was before the US, but the US I have lived uh, mostly in Philly, suburbs of Philly. It's called the Main Line. Very nice place actually. Um, where I saw experienced my first snowfall in adult life, basically, which was Halloween actually. Also, uh, turns out to be Halloween today. So that was the place. But of course, then you went through the struggles of masters and getting a job and visa and this and that and everything. And then I was also like part of the community, etc. But what I'm like, there were all the comforts that I needed. However, I never felt at home until one day, after we had done like that Article 370 Kai conference. We had done it in DC. And then after that, we went to Shakunji's place. I don't know if you know her. She was the KO president at that time, and I was the secretary. And we were kind of celebrating in a way, that this had happened and, etc., etc., etc. But we went as an after party kind of to her place. And then there were like a lot of Kashmiris sitting. But then we were talking about just nothing and everything, nothing related to Article 370, but like just chatting. I found myself sitting on the floor and laughing like crazy. And I felt so happy that day. And I said, I have not felt like this in years. Like, I'm not saying I felt like this in even many times in Bangalore also. I think I felt like this maybe at some weddings in Jammu, when I was there for like Masi's place. It felt like a party. So I guess I'm a party person. So I feel at home at a party. So that's one thing about me. Like, I love people. I love talking to people, especially if it's Kashmiri. I love it. So I feel home with everything Kashmiri because it's core memory for me. So whether it's food, whether it's songs, whether it's, talking about it, whether
Do you
it's,
think, do you think it's because of the familiarity?
yeah, core memory.
So that I mean, when you're in that group and those conversations, that food, that kind of music, it also reminded me of the post that you shared. Like, if I were in a gathering where someone's singing Kashmiri Chakar, I would feel at home in
Correct,
that space, whether it's a small room or a big,
correct.
convention
A-
center, whatever. I
Absolutely.
would. So, okay, you're
So
saying.
it's everything, it's core memory because that's how I grew up. So I think
Mm,
for me, home is everything Kashmiri, from food, music, chakar, um bhoot
like a,
stories about runtas. I think mostly because you don't have to explain yourself. You feel at home,
yes,
people understand you. You don't have to I'm like,
yeah,
it was such like a load off. I was like, I don't have to explain myself, people get it, and I can
yeah.
speak in
You
Kashmiri.
you don't have to say Rajma. Like, everyone will know Rajma. It's Rajma. It's not Rajma. Like, I had to train
Yeah.
myself to do that in Delhi. Yeah.
So for me, home is being Kashmiri and being my authentic, and you know how Kashmiri I am. So authentic Kashmiri self and be understood without explaining. So that one thing is home, and that can be, I mean, I felt that way in the US. I have felt that way in India at weddings. I felt that way at home in like my house in Bangalore where I grew up, like who I grew up with. I mean, not where I grew up, because even in Bangalore we grew up in different places. So anyway, point being that second point is for me, any kind of creative arts is home. I love creative arts, so that's home for me. And like music, drama, dance, painting, etc. That's home for me. And I mean, it's obviously more than five, but these two are basically like part of what, makes me. But physically, it's mountains. Like right now, where I live, it has to be open, it has to be like looking, it has to be nature stuff, which it is right now. So I feel at home and I don't feel like leaving here. I hope I don't have to.
So, you associate with permanence where you're at right now?
Yes.
Like, do you? I, for example, I don't. People ask me, "Oh, so where do you want to settle down, or is this where you're going to live forever?" घर ले लिया कि नहीं, तो घर कहाँ पे रुकना है? Do you have that city, that place, that area pegged
Yeah.
down?
Yes.
You have.
I feel like I didn't pick it. I just dropped into it and I felt like, oh my God, if I have to leave here, I would really miss a lot of things. So it was not something intentional. It was something that I came in and I hated it for the first year because it was not raining, because I was missing Bangalore rain. I mean, not Bangalore rain, but in rain in general, even in the East Coast. But it doesn't rain here as much as I would like it to. But then there is snowfall and rain if you just travel north. And so I like 1 hour or 2 hours or four
Mm.
hours you see. So I think there is kind of a dull lake feeling as well. So location wise, I'm there. Also creative arts, San Jose is very, very vibrant with respect to Indic um, creative arts, because all of the people who do good things in the US, in India, creative arts wise, come here to like,
Mm.
showcase it, or like there's concerts for it for sure. So I think I
But it's
found,
amazing how you have logged a place where You
It
can see
didn't
both.
happen intentionally. I have not looked for it. I did not seek it, and I didn't
Yeah.
think this would be the place. And for
So,
the longest time, my friends
hmm.
kept saying, come here, what are you doing there? And have been there like for 10 years. And I'm like, nahi, nahi, मैं India चली जाती हूँ वापस. So they're like, come here. And this is also very much Indian. Like, there's a lot of Indian community here. And I think, yeah, I feel that with this place. So touch wood, it doesn't. And I love New York as well. So I like New York City as well. So I go visit New York as well. But I would not stay in New York because it's not that naturey. I mean, in places it is, but I don't think I'll be able to afford them. But anyway, long answer. Niharika.
Yeah, I mean, as all of you were talking, something just very funnily came to my mind. It feels to me that home, it's not where we stay, it is what actually stays with us. It can be a place, it can be people, or it can be, nature. For me, for instance, it's forest compared to maybe for someone it's beach. So it's really something that stays in this dynamic, changing world. A very good example for this is, once I got married, of course, for many years, your in-laws place does not feel home. I mean, it just does not feel home, especially for someone like me. I was the only child, and but then after many years, when I mostly lived outside India, now my in-laws place feels home because it stayed. It's a constant in my life. And also that, your inner rhythm aligns with that space, those people, and so that becomes home. um yeah, I mean, that's what home is for me now. It's where, my inner rhythm align. It's the things, places, people who stayed while everything else changed. Yeah.
Nice. So permanence. So home
What
is
sticks
something that has,
basically, right? You throw the noodles on the wall, and what sticks, what stays with you.
yeah.
Yeah, I won't do that in
Okay.
my home. Mm. Since we are speaking of homes, anyone relate with what he said? He got amused by the Western names that these builders keep. I felt that because when I go, Noida has these developing townships, and someone or the other of my generation and older is purchasing a home or flat, वगैरह वगैरह. तो सबको obviously customary, because मैं आई हूँ तो सबको दिखाना है मुझे कि ओके इनके पास flats है. So they just take me to these places which have funny
This
names
is
like,
going on YouTube.
oh, but none of, so fortunately, none of my family members are interested in anything I do, so they will never land up on this YouTube channel. But it's the Eternia or like just weird names, and I don't understand. We have, why won't they just keep regular
He
names?
just said the name also.
हाँ हाँ, और वो बोला भी नहीं जा रहा है ना, ना गेटमैन से ना सर्विसमैन से, मेरे खुद के खानदान के लोगों से, मगर वो है. So I, when he said it, all of those things came back. The same way when he spoke of these he somewhat mocks the builder ke apartments, which are not, there's nothing unique or bespoke about them. It's the same thing, like dabba houses, as you feel. I call the Noida townships sometimes Noida ka chawl. It's basically chawl. It's just fancy concrete chawls, in like those rows of houses, and there's a whole city there. And these small things that he says, the heartless cooking of a help, like 10 minute में आके खाना बना के चली गई. Of course, it's not the same as when your mother cooks for yourself or cooks for you. How home is just about obligations and online payments, which I know, like when I मेरा पेटीएम ठीक कर देना या वो कर, all of these little tasks are just lined up for you. So because we were talking, I mean, for me, that's also home, where there are these little things that have been just put on hold. Okay, she's going to come in fix phone car refresh or the memory, the stuff that your older parents ask you for. So that's also home for me.
Yeah, he says the doctrine of duties. The water dispenser is not working, then something needs to, civil job needs to get fixed.
Yeah.
And, as a journalist or as a writer, the protagonist is always in this constant chaos. Ki, when do I write? Where is the space? I mean, my mind is largely occupied by paying up these bills and doing all of these other shitty stuff. Where am I, focusing on the core and complaining about the societies in general? You know, that was a good piece. That was a good reference and so
Yeah, do you
relatable
want to
again.
read that part? It is 26% of the book. If you look for Heartless, I think you'll find it. If you're on Kindle.
And even the even those he, he, I think he has has a contempt for what is um like what everyone does. They say houses or builders houses which have no unique style. The way he talks about office goers with their access cards, which is the Joe reminded of that movie where it says ki kutte ke jaise like a leash tied around your neck. I feel that because it exactly like that. There's a like a if you've worked in Bandra or any other office complex like BKC in Bombay, lunchtime you feel like a whole community of office goers with their access cards around looking for places where they can have lunch. Like that whole vision comes to life, and it's just amusing how he has picked that up. And it's
I'm
the
pretty
same
sure
way.
everybody, when he mentioned it, everybody had like a road where they've seen people coming
Yeah,
out. I have one in Bangalore also, right outside
Yeah,
the airport
huh.
office.
Or narrow
and not
place
just looking
in
for those
Delhi.
food joints, but also post food, post lunch, going
So,
for those little stalls,
yeah,
like
sutar,
dewalks or like for the
chai.
fag break or coffee break or a snack break, like
Yeah,
zhund of people going in a certain direction, and
yeah.
yeah,
But
and
isn't it
you could
also,
never go back to that building without that leash,
Yeah.
but isn't it
despite giving
also
all
that,
your ears to the. Huh, yeah,
no, no, I continue, please.
no. I was just concluding my point. Please go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, isn't it also kind of reflecting the fact that the writer, but also all of us in this generation have seen better times, maybe with our grandparents and other larger family settings, and that's why this stands out. Maybe for a generation, coming next, this might be their thing, that they probably don't find it as stark as we see it, because we have seen probably better times, better um, memories, and so on.
I mean, I think for my grandparents' generation, the access card equivalent was the briefcase that my grandfather would carry. Matlab, and he would
Yeah,
have
of course. No, what I mean
approximately.
is, we have seen like family gatherings, and as we said, the Kashmiri community, and therefore these kind of uh, you know things look more caricature, because we have seen better human connection. But for a
In a
generation
way,
later, it might
robot,
not feel as
more robotic.
caricaturous, right? And
Yeah.
that's probably also probably true for the writer. He has seen better human connection, and so all these things, like the cook, uh you know uh, comparing her to the mother, it shows that he has had a better past, or has
Yeah.
some great memories which he's comparing these moments to.
I mean, he's a journalist. He doesn't do the 9 to 5. He's been in multiple. I mean, he's lived in a university campus, which is not like a
Oh, so that might be also
apartment
there.
township. So you can, you know how some people absolutely know that they're not built for a nine to
Choose.
five
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
that regular job, etc.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how they find their calling. I just feel
Yeah.
that he describes these things I me I we it's like those small things which we all observe, but unless a stand-up comic or someone else brings it out, we're
Yeah,
like, yeah, that is funny. So
true,
I
true.
feel in his writing he's brought that out as well.
Let's read that part since we're discussing it that much.
Which one?
After he re- After he returns from Yale, in the beginning, he tries not to
Mhm.
think too much of Annie. He hopes to replicate. Did you get that part?
No,
Yeah,
carry on.
I'll
I will
repeat it.
find it. Mhm.
He hopes to replicate a big part of his life at Yale in Delhi. It is like one of those BuzzFeed stories, a house in one part of the world plucked from its base by a helicopter and placed somewhere else. But a week in, the impossibility of his endeavor hits him. The base of his life in Delhi has a very different design. The house begins to feel wobbly. The problem, he realizes, is fundamental, and this nixes his attempts at building a meta life of scholarship, of reading and writing. The odor of the house helps quick and heartless quick cooking, the merciless banging of utensils in the sink wear him down. He gets sucked into taking care of mundane things that need attention continually: online payments, water purifiers gone kaput, making calls to service centers where young people say, "Is there anything else I can help you with?" Even when they know that they are in no position to help. Then there are things that topple over any possibility of an idle father's feeble voice on the phone every time he says he will be late. The idiotic honking at traffic signals even before the lights turn green, articles on politics with the same ideological spin, the fake air kisses, and the emotional baggage of acquaintances. So his standards are high, obviously, and that's how he sees the contrast.
Mm.
I had not really kind of highlighted this, but maybe I should.
No, and the
Uh,
Uh,
interesting
this bits.
and and the interesting thing is that even I had it's on page number 56. So even I
Mm.
had highlighted this particular entire para where he says after coming from Yale in the beginning, he tries. So there's something very very grippy and very true and very relatable because always the doorbell is ringing all the time. See the for a 95%, it's a very, I wouldn't say convenient, but you have this slot. You're working from 9 to 5. You're out of the house. You're out of the mess.
Mm.
You don't have to attend to the door call. You don't have to attend to the maids. And in case of children, you don't have to attend to the children. They will come, they will in an autopilot thing.
Mm.
Like
Physically
I was
separated from the place.
physically away from all this everyday ka chick chick. But in case of somebody who's working from home, they also will shut their door, but there will always be a noise in the background. There will
Yeah.
always be some chaos in the background. And in case where the protagonist is staying alone with his father and an ailing mother, he is expected to attend to all these because the old father is not, frail father is not going to come and talk to the, water dispenser guy or talk to the call center people because things, he also mentions that things have advanced so much that, you know, father can't be talking to these
Yeah.
guys. So
Mm.
it is a thing, and especially for people, more so for creative people. Let's say even if somebody's working from home in an IT setup, he knows, okay, these are the doables, this is what my input is, and this is what comes out. But for a creative person, it's crazy. It's crazy. The moment you
it's
think you will,
irritating.
it's irritating. The moment you think you want to sit and okay, at least jot it down on your notepad, there is something that snaps and you are like, acha, ab gardener aa gaya. He has to be told to clean the place. He has to be told to do this stuff. I mean, of course, in US you don't have these hassles, but these hassles
This
are some
happens,
part of your.
but this nay, nay, but you find distractions because there is some or the other thing to be done. I mean, in the US, you have to do a lot of things by
Mm.
yourself,
Mm.
which is very irritating.
Mm.
What I'm saying is
Irritating,
that
yeah.
when I came here, I was like, when am I supposed to live my life? Because there is so much managing to be
Like
done. Like, there's like, to even live here, I have to like manage so much of shit. When am I
Mm.
actually going to live?
everything.
So,
Mm.
I outsourced it. I have Kamali also here.
Mm.
I have outsourced my finance management भी है, सब कर दिया मैंने। मैंने कहा सब भाड़ में जाओ, सब पैसा ले लो मेरे से, मेरे को मत काम दो, मेरे को सिर्फ सोना है बस।
Right.
Like, and I'll be just sometimes, most of the times I'm daydreaming only.
Mm.
Like, I love it,
Mm.
and I'm not saying like I'm
And
not
even if
creating
you switch
anything,
off,
but
no, and even if you switch off, your mind space to all the doorbells, to all the mails, to all the help that you get, and to those phone calls to customer service, your phone is going to ping. The new distraction, the new thing to
अरे
snap you is your
मैंने
phone.
My
mute
phone is
किया है.
always on
I have
silent.
I have put it on
So is
DND
mine.
now.
So is mine.
Um,
All my notification, everything is on silent. I do
my
not, unless of course the phone
yeah.
calls is the only thing that is never. I never
My
keep it on
sister has
silent.
removed me as her emergency contact because she's like, "तू तो कभी उठाएगी नहीं."
So have
So
my
I'm
friends.
out.
Emergency will
Yeah,
come
you are
and go.
useless. Yeah, yeah. Emergency will
Yes.
come and go. One thing, you will never pick up my calls. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Funny, I remember. I mean, we weren't discussing this, but we were asking. Was asking my sister, what's the core memory of her? I mean, she's married. She lives with her husband, and when she got married, and they were living. I mean, after a while, I asked her, what's the one thing that you're not missing about home? And now that I'm thinking of that conversation, I realized कि उसका core memory of home was her answer was motor on karna. That's the first thing you get delegated कि motor on kar do. And I realized it's such, and it's Noida. So the first thing
yeah.
you do is motor on karna hai, because you have stuff to do in the kitchen and the washroom, and of course motor on karna hai. So, so that's the
That
ghar ka memory,
sounded
which
that
I'm so
sounded
glad I
so
don't have
like
to do.
that triggered so many emotions even for me when you just said motor on because I was like, I'm
Huh.
not going back to that space in my
Because
grandparents. Even though
and
that was
she
in Jammu for me, but it's like just hearing those three words, motor on karna, please.
क्योंकि I have gotten up to the 6 बजे किस
Yeah, yeah.
oh अच्छा okay उठ गए सब motor on हो गया है, so like life has begun now, it's a new day.
It's a new day, and there was a time when you had to sit there and wait till your that water
हाँ,
tank would
because
fill and but
overflow,
then
oh
nada.
my god,
But now
that's
there is a new thing. There is a new gadget where this lady says कि
हाँ
आप कृपया मोटर बंद कर
हाँ
दीजिए. So you
हाँ yeah.
know, okay, you
आपका
can
पानी
sleep, but
overflow
the
हो
lady
रहा
will tell
है,
you
वो my
overflow हो
neighbors
रहा है,
handle है.
tank overflow हो
हाँ.
रही है.
अभी
Yeah,
कोर मेमोरी से चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा पे जा रहा है, so let's just stop it
No,
here.
stop it there.
seriously.
Yeah.
The border थोड़ा सा, let's stick on this side of the
Yeah,
good
that is
memory.
also home. Yeah, that is very much
Of course
home
That
that's
also.
so.
no, no,
Yeah.
that's not home for me. That didn't stay with me. I don't want to be reminded of
She would
motor.
she would she would live with her in-laws any day versus switching on the
Yeah, yeah,
motor.
yeah. I don't want to go back to motor
The
on
motor
karna.
ka sound is not the rhythm she's looking for.
No, no, no.
Okay,
Right.
so God bless my late grandma, my nani. She passed away when I was in this home, and I was hoping that she'll come visit me, but she said, "Oh, I'm too old." Anyway, so she used to say, "Puina vai, hi Puina." We have her on video saying
Mm.
that.
And they
Yeah.
had such a fixation on the water. कि नहीं ये
Tanki
भी भर दो, ये
Maklei.
भी भर दो, ये भी भर दो, भर के रख दो सब. Just fill
हाँ.
everything in the house, whatever possible vessels you have.
Tanki wala
Fill
jab
them
Tanwai,
up.
gatna aata hai. Oh
Tanwai
my
repeated.
God. That was the
Tanki
Thank you.
biggest
Maklei.
disaster in the house.
Tanki Maklei.
Tanki khali hogi, matlab you all are so careless. Like
But
you are doomed now.
yeah, but can I say, when I moved to Bombay, and I've lived in Bombay for a decade, the first 3 years, I struggled, and it was the drought period because Bombay doesn't get its usual rains. So pani cut ho jata hai वगैरह. I was in Vile Parle and they had to divert it to Nanavati Hospital, all of that. The first 3 years of my life was also about motor on karna, and I felt वो नहीं होता शिकस लग रहा तो शिकस उन्होंने सुई. That was, I felt, was that me? I am the shikas in Noida and the Bombay, and I'm taking that problem with me. So that I carried for about 3 or 4 years, and then of course things got better in Bombay and Andheri.
Do you
But
have do you have this situation in your house right now in Vietnam?
no, I have a view of
Then
the Saigon
then
River, so
you
I
will
feel
know.
this abundance of water around me. Thank you so much.
Well, then you
I
are
paid my
then you
dues. मैंने मेरा पूरा ये जन का पानी का दे दिया है, तो अभी वरुण देव
rin
cannot continue with me.
rin भर दिया.
Yeah.
So let's come back to the book.
Mm.
Of course, come back to the book only to go into our lives.
Mm.
Because
I
the
have
second part of
one more point, but you say yours and then I'll say it.
Yeah,
but
even
the
I have a
question,
No,
point. So
not
you
not
say
on
yours,
home,
then
not
I'll
on
say.
home. On a note
On
that
the
I
book.
like. Yeah, on the
On
book.
the book, yeah.
नहीं ऑन द बुक है मगर हमने क्वेश्चन पूरा आंसर नहीं किया ना
Oh,
दूसरा
sorry.
क्वेश्चन था इसी में
Hmm.
how does communication break when you say you love someone? What exactly does it mean? How do you unlove a person? When does communication break? It seems. Mm, I
When
don't
you
know,
feel
man.
that you cannot say something. Okay, for me, communication breaks. The the in the present context is when someone picks up a phone when I'm talking. I mean, I'm out. Like that. If you felt the need to look at a message or just check your phone or your phone close, I'm out. That's a major communication break for me. Yeah.
Communication break is when, for me, it's like when I find there's no respect. That's the end of communication.
Mm. See, I mean, you can excuse yourself and say, "Sorry, I gotta check this," or "This is urgent," but just saying, "Yeah, oh, go on, I'm listening." No, I don't want. That's communication break for me.
I think
Yeah,
communication break for me is more important for people I love and respect are part of me. And communication break for those people because rest of the world one doesn't really care so
there
much.
is no
Up
break
to a point, yeah.
because
You,
you're not in
Yeah,
continuation with them
yeah,
anyway.
invested.
yeah, invested in them. But in case of people you love and care for, communication breaks the time I feel that I am talking to a wall. I do not get
Yeah,
a good or a bad response.
My
man.
mother. Butcha Salman se baat karo.
Yeah, no, but that's just a very out very superficial, frivolous way of looking at ki mother se baat karo, she bitches laban se then kat kar. That is, that end of the day you are going to go back to that home. You're
Correct, correct,
going
correct, correct,
back to
correct.
her. But where it means that there are certain critical conversations and you reach to a point where there is a complete fallback, there's a complete break of everything, and you do not. So I'm not here to say only good things. When there's a communication happening, I want to know both aspects, whether I like it, I don't like it, but you talk. For me, talking is very important. I can't keep my feelings bent in. I mean, I can't keep them inside. I know where to speak and whom to speak to. So those boundaries, I know what I'm
So for
talking to
you,
whom.
you're just saying is that communication breaks when there is silence instead of r-
Total silence,
talking.
and that silence is not silence because I don't have the answers, or silence because I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want
Yeah,
to attend to you. So then that is like a complete deal breaker from you.
Mm.
For and again for people who mean the world to you, after 4 days, 2 days, you come back. Yeah,
yeah.
baat karna, kya hua? Let's talk. So
Yeah,
it depends also on the people you are talking to.
yeah. Niharika, when does communication break?
No, I don't think it pray. I mean, for me, I think it's just yeah, I'm more on the side that for the people we love anyway, we'll go back. And there are also instances where actually, if it breaks and the other person is silent, probably that helps in the long term, not only for some smaller conversations, but even for bigger conversations. I've seen after a while, maybe I have a different perspective, or I have matured in certain way. It ultimately actually helped. I mean, and also, I mean, if I now look at outside of personal space, I mean, you have to get back to people, right? I mean, there's a reason why you are in touch with those people. I just, I don't know if there will any, there has to be something else in the background, right? In terms of incentive, either, you're working and therefore you know why you're working there. And so I don't
Yeah.
think anything will be a deal breaker. I
The
just have to find the,
context, the context here is that he comes back from his whatever guerrilla
Mhm.
experiment and all that, and he comes back home. Ada is at home, but
Mhm.
there is no communication. This is just before they break up, right? break up as in there is nothing, so they move on type of a thing.
Mm.
So Ada is one of the people who he did not like, was like, okay, I want to be with you or anything like that. I don't think he ever wanted to be with, he just happened that. So he realized at that point that, okay, she's in the bedroom, he's taken the guest room, and the communication has broken. So
Hmm.
in his case, the communication has broken because he has transformed or realized that he's different from the other person.
Ah, now I get it. I mean, in that case, maybe it's more on the same lines that I was mentioning, where you're not anymore in sync with the like
Correct.
example would be, your
The
friends, you
communication
have
breaks
friends.
when connection breaks.
Yeah, like when you have friends when you're younger, and sometimes when you even try to communicate with them now, it it doesn't feel the same always. With some friends, probably it feels the same. It's as refreshing
Yeah.
as in the
Yeah.
past every time you talk. But then there are people you even try hard to connect with, but you just don't connect. That's where it breaks, basically,
Yeah.
right?
So I think, yeah, I agree. I think to just add to that point, we have to see the corollary of it is that what is that one thing, and I read it somewhere, or like it came to me that at the end of it, end of life or whatever, what is the thing that stays? It's katbath, yeah, it's communication, it's who you would like to talk to.
Exactly.
And what would that be? It would be because you connect with that person, right? Or you would
Mm.
interested in a way or whatever, like, so I think communication is, I mean, they say that if you are a couple and you grow old together, the only thing that remains is talking.
I mean, frankly, it's not the case in my case, but it's still kind of
You're
it's
not
for us
old.
it works. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes, even if there is no community, I know I would rather be with a certain person, because I know their intention. I know how they kind of treat kids, and so there is this thing happening at the intentionality level, at the energy level, which you feel.
Okay,
Someone
yeah,
doesn't need
fair,
to talk,
fair, fair, fair,
right?
fair.
So.
I think you have made like a good distinction between talking and communicating, which is
Hmm.
fair. Yeah, fair point. Yeah, uh, yeah. I was basically talking about katpath and talking, but
Hmm.
communication breaks when connection breaks. That's
Hmm.
established.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
and that connection could break for various reasons for various people based on where their value system is and what they feel about that person or etc.
No, can
And
it be the other way also? If the communication breaks, connectivity breaks.
Yeah.
That is true. I mean, that
Yeah.
can really go south.
Hmm.
It
it's
takes a
not
lot of
necessary
uh,
though,
yeah, not necessary, but
because see
it
my
most
my
likely
friends.
that something
Hmm.
there has to be a surprise or something great to hold things together. It can be a big, you know, uh,
Hmm.
It
yeah.
it depends on how deep your connection is. The deeper
Hmm.
your connection, the lesser communication you need. I feel like with my childhood friend, we speak once in 6 months,
Hmm. Hmm.
but it's not, nothing changes like in our equation. And like,
Yeah.
of
But
course,
that's
we like
also
follow
because
each
that was,
other's lives, but
yeah.
we don't like talk a lot.
But do you think it's because you're again in a separate space than that person? Whereas in this case, if you're in under the same roof
Sure, sure.
and you're not
Then
talking
it's
days together, like you're sharing the
That's
physical.
intense.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
intense. Yeah, I mean, for
And
certain.
it doesn't mean that you narrate everything that happened in your life the whole day. Doesn't mean that, but also
doesn't
not
mean
when
Yeah.
that.
you're coming when you're returning from a trip and there is nothing to talk about.
Nobody to talk to.
Yeah,
Nobody
like
to
I
talk
think
to. Yeah.
correct, correct. If he doesn't feel like he can share,
Yeah.
first of all, he doesn't share. I don't think he's that kind of a person anyway. But anyway,
Hmm.
what I'm saying is that
I don't think it's about talking or sharing. In this case,
I
it
don't
was
think
all
it's about
all
talking.
about, yeah, yeah. It was
Mm.
more about somebody warmingly welcoming the person
Yeah,
back
exactly.
after
Feeling
long.
welcomed or missed or yes,
Hmm.
something like
Hmm. Hmm. So maybe that
that.
thing was, of course, clearly missing.
Hmm.
When you say you love someone, what exactly does it mean, and how do you unlove a person?
ये तो मतलब बड़ा philosophical है. This is
What exactly
it
does it?
is it is
When you say
it
you
is
love someone, what
yeah.
exactly does it mean? It means that you feel good about yourself around them. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a I would like to. I don't know.
It's like it's like when you say
It's a
you love
difficult thing
someone,
to answer.
it's like I would say I love someone if I feel loved. I feel I feel in love with myself with that
You know, I
being present
sometimes
for
feel
that
the
person.
word love is used in such frivolous ways in so many of the writings. Not this one I'm saying, but generally that it's lost its meaning somewhere. Like we talk about feminism, it's talked so casually and spoken so just casually in everything
Yeah,
that it's lost its core meaning. So I feel the same
yeah,
about the word love because the word love is such an intense word. I'm unable to I mean, express it, explain it, what it means to me. There's certain things that are are only feelings, like spirituality. You can't. How do you explain spirituality? How do you tell that? Oh, uh, I pray to Shiva, or I pray to Parvati, or I pray to Ganesh, or I'm a Vaishnavite. How do you explain your journey? How do you tell? So I
Mm.
feel the same for the word love. So I may kindly be excused.
Mhm.
Though because but this is because maybe because I've had touch wood by God's grace, I've had a beautiful experience of it. So I can't explain it in words.
sure.
Maybe that's the case, but people who are deprived of it know more of it, and have a certain explanation for the word. I'm still trying to understand, and try not understand, but trying to put it in words what it means, the
Words,
word
yeah.
love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm.
Okay. Anyone else wants to take a dig at it?
I mean, I'm going to go with, how you say, what's your love language? I would say act of service. That's for me. I'm not big on talking and saying and flowers and stuff, but and not acts of service ki mera gaadi dho diya waisa wala nahi. But those, those without that you know each other enough to know in some vulnerable moments what this person needs. I think that's love for me. Could be your mother, could be your sister, your roomie that you live with, a friend. That's love for me. I don't know how you unlove someone. I think it's um uh, you stop to see person in a certain light, and that is when you move away from love. How from a movie dialogue, right? The love karne ka capacity is not of the object but also of the one loving, and
Absolutely.
that's what changes. So I
Yes.
have had no problems unloving people, so yes.
Aarti is just like the protagonist in that way.
I have.
Uh, Niharika, do you want to share anything?
I don't know. I mean, it's quite difficult, frankly. But for me, how I see love is it's like, it's not, of course, it's not at a worldly level. It's more spiritual. It's more like where everything emanates from. Because, I mean, if there is any connection, whether this is with the person, with the place, with a, with an animal, or something that makes you do things, as also Aarti said, whether that's at work, vocation, everything emanates from love. So it's really that encompassing zone that it's a frequency shift, right? You get into that zone when you connect with some things, with people, and so on, right? So for me, it's difficult to explain, but it's more at the level of where things emanate from, um, and with the zone that you go into when something touches your heart, right? Yeah, that's all I think I can say.
Yeah, so I feel like I also agree with everybody, and I'm going to like just summarize what I feel now because I'm able to put in better words now. So it's like um if you're a certain kind of a person, you are in love with somebody or something. So that love is happening inside of you. So that it's like a very Sadguru thing to say. So it's like you are love, right? And then if you transform, uh, you might not be in love with the same things
You don't necessarily carry that love because you're not that version.
person anyone,
Yeah.
because you are a person, you are in love, so you feel that in yourself. But then if you transform yourself, that feeling might change for somebody or something, and you might fall in love with the same things or person again, but
In a
it'll be for
different
a
life.
different way. Yeah, I think it's about love is something that you just feel in yourself, for anything or anybody, but it's basically a function of who you are at that point, and it's not absolute, and I mean it's not relative, it is absolute to do with you. And how do you unlove a person? When you transform, you basically unlove a person.
Interesting.
If you move on, then you move on, right? Because you have changed. Okay, so I have highlighted so many things, and it's already 7:20. Like we won't finish this, but I wanted to make a small note, which actually made me like, oh my god. So
Was it?
there was this place where he says that it was an understanding that they would always convene here in Connaught Place with Gurnam, that he wouldn't tell like hum milenge, he'll just say wahan milenge, on a bench next to which an old man sold iron boats that due to a small miracle of physics could move in a bowl of water. I had that in my childhood. Dad used to bring it, and I remember, and it comes to me like so many times, like every now and then I think of that boat. And he had gotten it, and he had gotten like, then it was like in like we had very small like a house in Bangalore when we were in exile. So I was like maybe in my like middle school, and then he brought it, and he brought a chilamchi into the like जहाँ पे sitting area है, वहाँ पे
And
चिलमची में पानी डाल के फिर and he got put a boat. I was so excited, and it just I didn't think that it was a thing, so I don't even know how to Google for it. But yeah, it was something that just brought like a smile to my face. I guess
Yeah, they
Delhi I
still sell
also
it.
had.
Yeah, they still sell it.
Really?
You'll still come across
in
those
Connaught Place, yeah, in
in
Connaught
I
city,
Place.
yeah,
never.
around city,
Oh my
next to
god, I never
Hanuman
saw
Mandir.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Never
yeah.
again.
On that Baba
Oh
Khadak
my
Singh
god.
Road. So you see
Yeah,
those
you
people.
still see it.
Can you please buy me
Yeah.
one, please?
Sure.
And give it
Sure,
to me.
sure,
Make it
sure
happen.
thing,
Because I okay, send a
sure thing.
picture of it at least. Okay. So anybody wants to share anything? I have a lot of things highlighted, then we can just go through it. Otherwise, we'll just
I
end.
um anyone who doesn't like flowers or bouquet of flowers.
I love.
I love that.
Sorry, I missed the question. What was that,
Anyone
Aarti?
who doesn't like a bouquet of flowers or fresh
Who
flowers.
is this? I would like to meet that person who doesn't like flowers.
I don't like a bouquet of flowers. I prefer potted plants. Anyone else
Ah,
know?
wahi,
Ah,
same
oh,
thing.
I mean
Potato,
both
potato.
things.
No,
It's the
it's
same
not.
thing.
It's not the same because
In
that's
a
what
way, it's just,
the
yeah.
thing that he says. The sight of flowers would induce in him a dreadful sense of the perishability of things.
Correct,
You
correct.
Yeah,
feel that, and
yeah,
I
correct.
I hate that when that happens to a bouquet of flowers. So
Yes, yeah, yeah.
I would,
आपका
even if I have
आपका
to
No,
give
but
मिडिल
they have
नेम है
these green.
आरती नील रैना.
oh thanks. But that's if I had to, if I have to give someone flowers, I would rather take like those potted ones or those terrariums, chota sa ghar pe
But you
ye
know, the
would be fine.
potted ones also die.
Yeah,
I've
Eventually,
potted
No,
seen
ones
not
also
those.
on
die.
my
The
watch.
theriums.
not on my watch.
No, but they have these green sponge water succulents kinds in which you can keep the stem. I'm sure you would know that there.
Yeah, I have that. I have that. I
Yeah.
mean, Vietnam has
But
beautiful flowers. but
Yeah, Vietnam's
I
that part of the
still,
world has beautiful flowers. And
yeah,
I
and
was
they
when I
don't dump, and
they
they
didn't
stay
die.
fresh for a
They
month.
stay.
Like they
Yeah,
come
yeah.
as buds and then bloom. Okay, yeah, but
Mm,
I feel
yeah.
that because I
I
I don't
yeah,
like
I
the
agree.
flowers when they die. Mm.
Yeah, I agree. But you
See,
can use
I
them as a compost. Don't throw them away in the
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
bins.
do
mean,
that.
the
Put
I
other
them
do
in
that.
thing
yeah.
is,
I do
So they're
that.
going
the
to
other
stay
thing
with you.
yeah. Also, the other thing now, as I compare, when you get bouquets, somehow in the back of your mind, you know that they are going to die, and you take extra care, and you know that they're going to stay maybe 5 days or maybe 10 days. But when you get now potted plants, and I've tried this so many times, and then you put in the effort or whatever the routine, the potter has told you, okay, 3 days in a week you need to water it, and in spite of that,
You
when they
don't.
die, that is even more painful than a bouquet decaying, because this was your responsibility. Now it's like a big guilt.
Yeah,
I
So
would
yeah,
it
I
rather
agree.
have the bouquet perish because I know that it's going to perish than have
Perish,
a
yeah.
It's
potted
like
plant
मेरी गलती तो
perish.
नहीं थी.
but
Huh.
there are two types of, because I have a lot of plants. I love plants. I have a lot of plants at home. I never throw a glass bottle because I just make it into another money plant
Oh,
holder or something. But I think there are
I
two kinds of होम गार्डनर्स, एक जो वो आइकिया से पीएच का मीटर लाते हैं कि सॉइल का पीएच कितना है, हाइड्रेशन लेवल्स कितना है, एंड आई एम द वन जो मग से
funny.
पानी डालती है. It's also just, it's another childhood memory of watching my
Yeah,
grandfather
yeah,
tend to his
yeah,
plants and flowers, so I carry
yeah.
that.
Mm.
But I think it's that I firmly believe in talking to your plants and sending them good vibes. Try that. I have,
Is the
uh,
plant whisperer. Uन
but
लोग kids
it
might नहीं
really
करते.
works.
It
It
works.
That
It
is
really
true.
works.
That
works.
is true for
So
sure.
try, if you just see it
Yes.
as a object कि जिसको सुबह पानी डालना है, like that's my sister, oh पानी डालना है, वो डालना है, it'll not happen. Just try it Niharika once, maybe.
No, no, that
Yes.
is true.
Yes.
Like my father, he has a small area but he spends like 3 hours a day
Yeah,
digging
exactly.
whatever he needs to do. And then, like he will talk, he will actually talk. And that has also kept him going.
Niharika, don't let the communication break.
Yeah, but I cannot do it. I think it's too much
With the
responsibility and
plants
it's
as
too
well.
much guilt.
Yeah.
I already have 2 kids and a dog. Now plants is like, oh, but I have a forest behind where I live. That's good enough, right? It's
Yeah,
growing on its own.
yeah, that's good enough. I
Yeah,
mean,
बहुत
not
है बहुत
everything
है.
in your life need, you need some adults in your life as well. So
yeah, exactly. Right point, Aarti.
Eh,
Okay.
I agree, Aarti. I'm myself a plant person. I've had I think when we moved to this place, I've had 150 pots. And the transport guy told me, "Ma'am, ये नहीं बचेंगे." मैं कहा कोई बात नहीं. I please take them along. So I potted them. पीछे खाली था सारा, so I potted them in the back lawn. But the larger, though I'm happy to have a garden and lawn and everything, but the largest, dukh that I have is that when I was in Gurgaon, so I had this, there's a wholesale florist market in a certain part, which is like 5 minutes from my place. So her weekly मैं stock लाती थी, whether it was lilies, whatever, Rajnigandha, whatever. So here, and those guys would tell me, Madam, ये महंगा है इसलिए because it comes from Bangalore. Then I had high hopes कि मैं तो बैंगलोर जा रही हूँ मुझे तो यहाँ पे be having flowers dropping me from the skies. And
yeah,
trust me, from
nothing
the
is.
time I've come here, I have not found even a single florist vendor in my side of the area.
No.
Where
बिल्कुल
do you
भी
live?
नहीं है. I am Sarjapur,
Yeah, yeah.
then 5-6 kilometers, no, not 5-6, but 3-4 kilometers off Sarjapur. This area called Nambyar Belizia,
Mm,
Chandapur, whatever.
mm.
So, and yesterday, for the first time, it's just the timing of things. In the group, somebody's saying, "I have a farm and I grow tube rose. Is anybody interested?" So much for 16 months. I was like, first
Uh,
one to say,
Raise your
please,
hands.
please do this delivery every week. So I'm that crazy. And मेरे pots यहाँ पे, all my vases and everything are khali, and it breaks my heart to see them. Breaks my heart to see them like
I
that.
have
I
also
feel
transported my pots from Bombay to Delhi. I mean, with the plants intact in my
with the
car.
plants. Yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes.
I feel
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Mhm.
बल्कि वो all the pots were broken, like they were in
So
pieces.
the
But the
answer
first
to
thing I
your
did is pot them. No, 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 no. We don't have to throw
You
them.
don't
I
have
don't need
to
anybody to unpack my stuff. I want a gardener to just put them wherever he can.
do
Yeah, I
home
get
is where
that,
the
Arti.
plants are for you, Avanti, and you didn't say that initially.
Mm. There's so much to say when you talk about home.
True,
Definitely the plants. Yeah.
true. Okay, so let's. Can I have you anything else you wanted to share?
I think just quickly one reference I had, I mean, one mention of this para where he says that Neil is sitting in this garden of roses back in Srinagar
Mm.
and surrounded by, that's been a constant anchor for him when it comes to home. So he's always, later also, he's talking that anything that's close to that, anything that brings me close to a situation like that is home for me, because in this para he's saying that his parents were away and this is in Srinagar house and he wants to hide, and then he finds the rose shrub and he hides in between that so that
Mhm.
nobody can see him,
Mhm.
and the universe is opening up to him and he can see the skies, he can see
That's
the
beautiful.
poplar trees. Yeah,
Beautiful
so
paragraph.
that's a beautiful expression, and that is what he, to a large extent, considers to be the home, to be the anchor. That was a beautiful expression.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt that. Yes.
So then at one place he says one only during travel, dangerous travel, does the malady called homelessness go away.
Malady. Can you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some
Mm.
I felt that not anymore. Not anymore. It's that
Don't
it
give up your middle name so quickly.
no, not. I think it's a phase where you don't want to, or I have not associated, and I think it's got to do with the fact that I've never been or lived in Kashmir, and this Delhi didn't feel like home. Noida didn't feel as much as well, and I wanted to move away. Same for Bombay, and then I realized, oh, it's just I'm here just for work, and now here, so it's just felt, I'll probably find it
You
somewhere.
you will find it'll come. I think
Yeah,
it'll come.
that's why I asked you, like, do you have that place locked down where you want to live forever? But
It's
it
not, I
hasn't.
haven't locked down. Nothing is locked down, nothing is permanent. I don't think there is permanence in
I just
anything.
hope
There's
it's
any
not too
permanent.
late where I'm senile and then I don't remember anything. Like, then what's the point of calling a place home? Just hope it comes a bit
No.
early before that
You
happens.
have, like, you have to feel at peace wherever you are. I don't think it's a physical place. But
Hmm.
of course, if the physical place provides, I need a lot, I feel, for a
True.
person. I am too much for my own self. So, like coincidentally, this meets it without any like traffic jams, etc. Because I live like 10 minutes from it, so it's accessible for me for the things that I need. Like I go to Kathak, I have to sing, I have to do this, I have to do drama, I have to do, whatever. I have to do book club. So thankfully, some of it is virtual now, but
Hmm.
anyway, so I want to go to the mountains, I want to do snowboarding, I want to also, like, I want to talk to people, I want to eat Kashmiri food, I want to go to parties also, I want to do this also. बहुत कुछ है, दिमाग
Hmm.
खराब है मेरा. Acha, I had a place where I've highlighted which the paragraph I didn't understand whatsoever. Neil feels that the universe has revealed itself to him, that everything is in order and nothing will ever change. It's like a shaman that has taken him under his wing and offered him ayahuasca in that circle of love, as though he has crossed a barrier of perception and now this sluice gate will never close. I mean, I understood it,
Hmm.
but how has he written this? Like, this is amazing.
He's been part of a ceremony, I guess, or he's seen it, witnessed it. But I
The incident is rooted in time past in their house in Kashmir. It is late afternoon. There is nobody around. Both his parents are at work. Neil is sitting in the veranda where he suddenly feels an urge to hide himself. He looks around and sees a circular bed of roses. This is what we talked about, right? In
Mm,
the center of
mm,
the patch of the grass, and he goes there and he lies down. He is now hidden from the world. One will really have to come close to the shrubs and peek inside to spot him there. It is sunny, and the gentle breeze of the Himalayas, a row of poplar trees, sway gently. He closes his eyes and feels the interplay of light and shadow. A crow is cawing in the gentlest way. It is like a lullaby. Neil feels that the universe has revealed itself to him, that everything is in order and nothing will ever change. It's like a shaman has taken him under his wing and offered him like some drink, basically, in that
mm.
circle of
The,
love, as though
mm.
he has crossed a barrier of perception and now this sluice gate will never close. Yes, last part I didn't understand. So as
It,
though he has crossed a barrier of perception and now this, so basically it feels like he's like so happy, basically. That's what, I guess that's what it means.
yeah, I mean, he doesn't. It's like your Kundalini awakening. The
Yeah.
whole process
Yeah.
is you don't need to perceive something. Now you're just that's your whole being now. So in that circle, I mean, whatever that shaman practices, the whole point is you feel safe within that circle. You've had that drink, and you feel
So he
part of it.
feels that way. It's like a metaphor, basically.
So that bed
Or
of
a, or a simile,
yeah,
not a
that
metaphor.
rose ka plant where he's hiding.
Yeah.
Because why would you want to hide yourself, or why would you want to hide away from? Because you don't feel
Safe.
you feel threatened, safe, vulnerable, whatever.
So
And
I
when
was
that
thinking maybe he's trying to allude it to the, like, the terrorists, etc. I don't know. I don't know. It felt like
I
that.
don't think that's, yeah, but I don't know if it's just the
But also he's
protagonist. Huh.
introverted. Yeah, he's
yeah,
introverted, so he
I
doesn't
mean,
want.
And
yeah,
he wants to, yeah, he's a closed person. The character is a closed person. He's not opening up. And this idea of being hid inside that shrub is definitely that nobody sees me. I'm at peace and I'm with myself. And I have everything that I feel safe about, whether it
yeah,
is that, and what I feel is why he's put that word, under the wings of shaman is because it can't be real. The kind of the kind of acts that shamans do is like you feel it's some sort of a magic.
hmm,
This can't be real. This is something that shaman has put me under her wings,
Fantasy.
under their wings, yeah. And this is not the real world, but I wish to be in this, and this is what my
Ah,
place of
uh-huh.
safety
yeah.
is.
That's my
Hamar
So
hota
store.
ani.
That's my storeroom in
that's
the
my
like.
storeroom.
I've done
Yeah.
that. We didn't have any
Yeah.
terrorists in Noida, but
Yes.
I
Yeah.
just felt like I want to get away and sit in the corner of a storeroom
Yes,
and
yes.
just
So some kids I know would go under the dining table, find that
yeah.
as their safe place. Yeah, hide themselves
I
there
I
and
would be
get
the
carry their
ones
books
that
along.
I would be the ones not growing up, but now I would be the ones on top of the dining table. But anyway, with the food around me. Okay. He
Yeah.
never speaks about what strange thing constricts father. He reads newspaper, watches the circus of news on television as it teeters down towards a dangerous cliff. He never speaks about Kashmir or remembers it, except at some odd moments when the memory comes to the fore. He has never expressed a desire to return for a visit like most have. He has never shown any sentiment towards the house he had built with such hardship, and which he had to leave in the middle of one January night. He never mentioned Ada after she leaves. Not even a how is she, or what has she done with her life, and are you in touch? Nothing.
Mm.
Neil thinks it's some sort of coping mechanism, and who knows, he might be on his way to acquiring this too, this strange ability to not think of loss. Or maybe he has an even better coping mechanism than fathers, of preventing loss even before it occurs. But what does
Yeah,
he then do with all his love in his heart?
yeah, I felt that.
I can very much relate with that.
Yeah, I felt
Very much relate with that sort of an opinion where
Zangawi nahi.
any Kashmiri is. absolutely futuristic, looking at the present, looking at what lays ahead. ठीक है, because at the moment I have my own battles to fight. You know, I have a I came from there. I had that turmoil, the exile happened, and everything. But now I'm looking at my present. I mean, I have come across people, and I don't know if I should be judgmental about them, because it makes sense in the current world. It makes sense to them in the current world,
So
Mm.
it's
because if
also
they
it
are
also
thinking like
makes
that, and it's
it
not that
also
there is any dearth of love, because in this, the father, if you see, forget checking on Ada or all of that, the father is so much in love with the mother. He's only thinking about the mother. That was a very subtle way of showing
Yeah.
the relationship between the two, and at the same time, concerned about the son. Have you
yeah.
eaten? When did you come? Did you take a shower?
Trying to
Stuff like
play
that,
both
which
roles. He's trying to be the mother as
he's trying to be both. And
At one
so
place,
it's
he
not
says that he opens the door and asks the question, "Have you eaten?" Like the mother,
eaten.
well.
Yeah,
Oh.
father,
would
and the
ask.
wife.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that the father was a strong character here. Very
Mm.
strong,
It's
very strong.
also it's also like on coping mechanisms, right? I
Hmm.
was close to my grandparents. I lost them quite early. You think that you have felt that loss, but I have mourned for them much after, when you really feel, oh, damn, like that happened.
Hmm.
Because you're too young to
Hmm.
feel it, or you're just
Hmm.
blocking it because you got to move
Hmm.
on. And,
Blocking it. Yeah.
that's just how we do. Like, we don't express and then we don't talk. So, um, not talking about is also a way of, I mean, rather, I also won't put it unhealthy, because I think you have to take your own time to mourn something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just a way of keeping it for later, but it obviously comes back.
Hmm.
Like, grief
It
will
comes
come
back
back,
in
and
some.
it
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
back
It comes
when,
back.
like, you must fully feel it. So
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
him, for the father, I feel that, like, if having, it's not that they just got unattached. It's just that they had
Hmm.
more important things to do. But it's also a way of protecting yourself and not
Hmm.
giving in
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
I
that
ho-
grief at the moment.
I hope there was catharsis for him after Kashmir Files, like in real
Yeah,
life,
yeah.
which is what how we had bottled up and avoided confronting, and then most of us did, right?
Mm.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
okay, from the
And
balcony where he. Hmm.
no, 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 no. Just a small thing that it was very difficult to separate the author from the protagonist. And I mean, that's the author's way of putting
I
it.
I
But one
can't.
needs to,
It is his life. This is how I'm reading it, as his biography only.
I don't want to comment on that, but it was just like, okay, it is the protagonist. It's the character Neil. It's the character, not the author.
I
Because
can't do it. I have tried,
yeah,
but I can't do it because after every few minutes, I'm like, okay, fine, यार, ये तो यहाँ पे भी गया था, मुझे तो पता है because I follow his,
Ah,
because I
okay.
like
follow,
that.
because I
Yeah,
follow
yeah.
his work, right?
Hmm.
Like from like a long time, like I know like
Yeah.
I read his reporting, so there's like a lot of stuff
Hmm.
that is like
Hmm.
I'm like,
Hmm. Hmm.
क्या ही
Hmm.
कर सकते हैं, कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं.
क्या ही कर सकते हैं, but there's certain things that maybe मुझे ऐसे लगा कि I know why this line has been written or this para has been written because of certain things, but वो if they could have been put in a different format or a different
I
expression.
think he might have wanted to write a biography. Then for safety
Mm.
safe measures, he has just converted it into a novel.
The novel.
But otherwise, I think it was like maybe like to for the ending he wanted to keep it fictional, or some characters he wanted to
Hmm.
change or whatever. Otherwise, he would have had to tell the names as they
Hmm.
are.
As they are,
but
yeah.
but irrespective, I think it's a very good way of people see, many people don't know him, right? So they would
Hmm.
actually read it like a book, and but it
Hmm.
bothers me to think of it as because it is not like, let's face it, it's not a fictional character at all,
Mm.
because there is a lot
Hmm.
of similarities between the author and the protagonist. So I'm sorry, guys. Yes,
Yes.
the Neil is inspired by the author's life. So I mean,
Mm.
okay, so be it, whatever. I don't care. I can't do it.
Anyone made did this incident, when he gets into the metro, there's a couple, a young boy and girl who enter. The girl is whispering
Yeah,
something funny and pretends that she needs
yeah.
the seat, and he
She
comes
has a
back
stomach
to
ache and she needs the
could
space.
be
Yeah.
appendicitis and go to the hospital. Why would I didn't understand, why would you put that? And I also,
Yeah, I didn't get it also.
like,
And I have highlighted.
why?
I was like, why, just for give her the benefit of doubt. Appendicitis nahi yaar. Usko appendicitis? What?
हाँ, वो उसको
Appendicitis.
बोलता
Yeah,
है
yeah. So he
basically,
says that maybe तुमको
हाँ, like
appendicitis
he says
होगा, so why don't you go to stop at the next
हाँ, मतलब मुझे
station
Yeah,
and go
I
to the
outsmart,
felt it
hospital?
was very
मुझे
mean. Maybe
outsmart
she
मत
was
करो.
cramping for real, like, and
No,
I
it
felt
was
very like, why would he not just get up and like
it
give her
was
the
it
benefit
was
of doubt?
as if they were trying to outsmart him, and he
Poke him.
says,
Yeah.
before you do that,
But that
Hmm.
is his feeling.
the same way when he's, I think, initial speech में he's mentioned that, oh, there was someone playing this song, और उसका कुछ movie release होना था, or something, song album had to be released, and then that person dies. So he just
He
mentions
put
that,
random stuff.
and I'm like, why would you say stuff like that? Why would you put
I
it?
think I think it's also for character building, right?
Yeah. Oh, my battery. What do you mean character?
Hmm.
Whose character are you building by talking about this?
Neil's character.
Indirectly yours, Aarti, at this point. Because it tells that Neil is very cynical, right? That it could be true that she could be telling the truth, but he is like, Acha, they are coming to get me, or
Hmm.
they are trying to
Hmm.
take advantage of me, so I'm not going to give in. So he
And also,
responds by like saying, being smart and saying, "हाँ फिर उतर जा फिर जा अस्पताल आने वाला." So
But
it's a character building.
hmm.
okay,
He's not kind to
but
people.
which
He's not.
means the girl was also trying to get to him, because अगर वो seriously होता तो it would have been a fight recorded on Metro. That's just how
Hmm.
Delhi Metro works.
Hmm. So maybe he was just trying to also reflect the kind of people that stay in Delhi, the people who are mean, people who just take advantages of situation and try to make it
Mm.
happen in their favor.
But there
And
is
also
nothing to
somewhere,
prove, because
no,
even as a protagonist, there is nothing that proves that the girl was lying. He just
No,
assumed.
he
he does
assumes.
allude to this, like this girl is whispering
Hmm,
For
something, and
what?
there's a bit of a smirk.
yeah, the girl and the
Hmm.
boy are talking and just trying to,
So they
think,
were talking.
making,
I
hatching
didn't
a
understand
plan.
why. No, that was his interpretation of it, but they could have been talking about देख यार उसने मेरे को सीट नहीं दी.
Hmm.
Like
No, but
it
why
was
would
maybe she
anybody give a
was.
seat? क्यों देते अगर had it so okay. I thought when I was reading this, I thought उसपे लिखा होगा that women, this seat is reserved for women, and please, that was, but it turned out
No,
to be
he was
entirely
like
something
कि
different.
नहीं नहीं उसने बोला कि मतलब मुझ पे दया कर दे मेरे पेट में दर्द है तू उठ
मेरे
जा.
पेट में हाँ
Ah.
उठ जा.
And but there
So,
will be people who will try that nonsense.
hmm.
So I just
Yeah.
like him for calling that out.
I felt that he was just
Okay,
trying to
okay.
give
I
that.
felt very, but like I'm from South India, so rarely people will ask you for it, and if they do ask you, you would comply
Get
because you
up
feel
and
bad. You give
yeah.
them the benefit of doubt because not many people ask that. Maybe in Delhi they ask,
Delhi
like
Metro is a
Metro, yeah. There
they
is a
mustn't
possibility.
dam
I think it was
lagan.
just नहीं it may be हो भी सकता है, and the author is on purpose reflecting that aspect of Delhi Metro, of the life he's living in there, compared to the cafe run by the girls
the Italian,
in yeah,
exactly.
Italian
Like,
girls. They were
I prepare
warm, they were
tiramisu with
welcoming,
that.
yeah, or Kim's
Wo,
and all of those people.
hmm.
So maybe he's just showing
Wait,
that in comparison.
do you think it's also because, when you've lived in a different country and you come back, I mean, in a
And
place
you
like that, you
always,
feel कि
yeah,
मैं तो local हूँ, हाँ, मतलब ऐसे
हाँ,
मैं
हाँ, हाँ.
मुझे 100 रुपए का चीज 10 रुपए में चाहिए.
10 रुपए में चाहिए. Yes, yeah.
Um,
That's true. And more
I
so
think,
for Delhi, not for other places. Delhi
yeah, so
and
maybe it
NCR.
was him saying that. I mean, I can still catch
हाँ, Catch
people trying
the
to scam me. So
scamming.
I'm
Yeah.
still a Delhiite. Okay, yeah,
Delhiites.
sure,
yeah,
sure,
I'm still a
sure, sure,
Delhi.
sure. So
Maybe, maybe.
he
And
was
some
back.
were
He
also
was back
building
home.
back home.
Yeah, yeah. There
Okay,
was an
so
interesting comparison between this and the Italian
Hmm.
place.
Hmm.
It's family owned small
Hmm.
business.
Hmm. Clever people in the metros,
Mhm.
Delhi people. Guys, it's 8:15.
Yeah,
I got to
yes,
log out. Yeah.
me
yes,
too.
yes. Okay, the
Great.
last time that we had actually said ki I forgot to, like, where he has written, all this love has been nothing more than a grand preparation to resist it.
Yeah, you mentioned it the last time as well. I feel there's something that you have to
No, no,
There
no.
was
I thought I
this.
forgot to mention this, and there was something
mention
that I
it
said,
last
oh,
time.
oh. मैंने सोचा कि there was something that I told कि I have forgotten to mention and I look for it. So then I thought maybe this is it. But anyway,
Mm.
um, so I think this is all good. There's a lot of
To
character
unpack.
building in the first chapter, and he is non-grounded. That's all we know. Severely non-grounded. All right, sounds good. चलो फिर मिलते
Finish.
हैं.
Okay, next week. Namaskar.
Next week we'll try to. She's finished the book, so next week we'll try to do